Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Colin, and in today's video I wanted to talk about how you can make your dreams a reality. Now, this isn't meant to just be some motivational pep talk, but rather a process, a step-by-step process that you can implement into your own lives every time you set a goal so that you'll be able to achieve it rather than fail every single time. Every single person watching this video has a dream or an ambition, but not many of us know what steps to take to get there, or more importantly, how we can actually follow through with them, rather than giving up just halfway through. This is an extremely common issue, and it feels like it's very rarely addressed in real life. It seems like you have to search through hundreds of YouTube videos to find a perfect plan that seems to work for you. So that's why I wanted to make today's video. Because when I was having problems, I had to watch so many hours of video to try to find a solution that would work for me, and I finally found one. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you the 3-step process that I use every single time I have a goal and has worked almost every single time. Now, before I get started, I want to say that if this doesn't work for you, feel free to tweak it however you like. Everybody learns differently, everybody works differently. So if this process doesn't seem to work for you, go ahead, change up whatever aspect seems to be throwing you off and see if that's successful for you. One last quick note before I get started, I wanted to say that I'm revamping this channel and putting a lot more effort into it this time around than I did a few months ago. So you should see increased quality in my videos, you should see better thumbnails, and if you guys enjoy the content, please leave a like to let me know that I am getting better, and subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. Please share this video with your friends if you do enjoy it, and leave a comment down below for more video suggestions for the future. So step number 1 is to be specific. It's very easy to be subjective in what your goals are, and very vague. So what I mean by this is, instead of saying, I want to be financially stable, set an exact figure, because financially stable can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So let's say you say, I want to have $100,000 saved up in cash in my savings account by the time I am 40 years old. That's a much better example, because if you're currently 20, that means that you have zero in your bank account. That means that you need to save about, what, $5,000 a year in order to reach $100,000 in 20 years. And that's a much more accurate, much more realistic goal, rather, to achieve than saying, I want to be financially stable. Now, this step seems really obvious, but it's something that I think a lot of people fail to do. They simply just have these vague goals and they never really write them down or set them specifically, and they never feel like they're achieving them or making progress because they don't know where the end is. They don't know what the actual goal is. So as you're working towards it, the goal seems to be moving further and further away rather than getting closer. So now that you've set a very specific goal, you can move on to step number 2, which is to make a plan. Take that specific goal and think about what steps you need to take to get there. Break it up into lots of smaller chunks to chip away at each and every day. Let's take that $100,000 that we'd like to save over 20 years, for example. Split that up, like I said, into $5,000 a year for the 20 years to reach $100,000. So now I know exactly how much I need to save for each year. And then from there, you can break that down. Let's say you get 2 paychecks a month, and there's 12 months, so that's 24 paychecks a year, roughly. So you can break that $5,000 into 24 paychecks, right? And now you know exactly how much you need to save each paycheck to reach that end objective. Do you see how much easier that is, rather than saying, I want to be financially stable? It'll seem like you're never going to get there if you never know exactly how much you need to save in the first place. Let's say your goal is a little more subjective, like, I want to become more social. For something like that, it's very hard to gauge what is more social and what's less social, and how you feel, because only you can be the judge of that. But there's objective ways to get there. If you make it a point to talk to 1 or 2 strangers a week and introduce yourselves to them, you're no doubt going to be more social at the end of, let's say, a year if you're talking to 1 or 2 new strangers a week. So that could be your plan, is to make that a point every single week to do so. And if you're failing to do so, then you're failing to become less social, at least in the time frame that you'd like to. So now that you've made this very specific goal and you've made a very specific plan to achieve that in a very realistic timeline, it's now time for step number 3, which is to record your progress. So take your work from step number 2 and write it down in something like a planner. This is perfect because you can write down exactly what day you want to achieve what. So for example, I really want to learn French. I have it written down in my planner. I don't know if you guys can see that. To study French each day. So today, Monday, I would like to finish chapter 4 of the French coursework that I'm currently studying. And then I have for each day, practice French for 1 hour, practice French for 1 hour. I have that written down each day that I'd like to practice French so that I know I'm getting better. With that much practice, I'm undoubtedly getting better. With the objective of learning French, it's very difficult, again, to gauge when you've actually learned a language, but by making regular practice every single day or week, it makes it very easy to know that I'm actually making progress. And every single time I complete one of my daily goals, or daily steps to achieving my goal, rather, I cross it off and I really keep track of how I'm making progress. And I write little notes sometimes about things that I've done that have really taken an extra leap, or things that may be setting me back in my steps to achieving that goal. And another reason why I say a planner is perfect is because a planner is something that you can check every single day. Your goal is something that you want to see all the time. You want it in your face. You need to write it down, not keep it on a laptop or anything like that. Well, unless you use like Google Calendar and you maybe set out a time slot every day that you want to work towards your goal. Maybe that's an exception, but in my opinion, I think it's much better to actually write it down and cross it off, because there's nothing more satisfying than that. And you see it, like I said, every single day, and it's always a constant reminder. It won't let you forget. If you try to keep track of your progress in your head, you're going to fail. Can you even remember what you did yesterday or 2 days ago? Because I sometimes have a hard time even doing that, especially if I had a long day. So if you're trying to really work towards something and you're very serious about it, you need to write it down. You need to plan out exactly what steps you're going to take. You should be going to bed at night knowing exactly what you're doing tomorrow to work towards that objective. You shouldn't be just thinking randomly throughout the day, thinking, I should probably work towards my goal. You should have an exact plan every single day and go out the next day and execute it. So be specific, make a plan, and record your progress. So I wanted to make this a one-stop shop for you, so that's my 3-step plan that I take every single time I set a goal for myself, and it's had tremendous success in my life so far, so I really hope that you see the same results in yours. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content in the future. I should only be improving from here. Leave a comment down below if you have any other video suggestions, and share it with your friends if you really did enjoy it and you think they would get some value out of it as well. And as always, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.